Hi, I'm from Really Good Emails. Matt Helbig. You can go to reallygoodemails.com/EIQ, get all my slides. Not even have to come to this talk at all. So who is Really Good Emails? We are a bunch of weird guys that do something on the side and kind of works out. So I'm that one. There's 5 other guys. We all do this as a side project. We've been doing it for 4 years. What is Really Good Emails? It's a website. It's a collection of really good email designs. We're almost at 4,000 hand-picked emails. This is our beta site that's going to come hopefully soon. But the idea behind it is that you'd see all these emails in people's inboxes, and you never really got to see them outside of like your small group of people within your company. So our idea is to get all those emails designs and put them on a website in front of everyone to see. So it's kind of really good emails. So what makes a really good email? This is something that people have really asked us when it comes to, okay, my email looks cool. How do I get it on your site? Well, this is what we're going to look at to get it on our site. So there's some points here. I think the first one definitely is important, connecting visual design, making sure it makes sense. The second one is kind of the most important one, is that the email serves the customer more than the company. I think with a lot of the emails on our site, it's kind of the main factor that we look at, that it makes a lot of sense for the email to be sent to someone and not just a selfish thing from the company. Consistency across branding is another big piece. We want it to feel the same when you get it in your inbox throughout the app. Best-in-class technology, a big piece too, making sure it works on any sort of screen or device. It's enjoyable because it surprises and delights. Maybe you'd send it to someone, to a friend. That's another piece. Likely to perform well, we kind of make a guess on that. A lot of people don't share a lot of analytics with us about the email designs that we feature. But everything that we know in the emails that we've seen, it's more likely to perform well. There's a lot of live text and imagery. We're not going to do all image emails in 2019. You guys really got to stop doing that. It's accessible and across all devices and screens. I don't really like to use the word responsive as much, but it should be accessible no matter what. And the last piece, that's kind of a newer piece, is that verticals shouldn't compare to other verticals. Just because you don't need like a healthcare for your pet B2C email to get inspiration from, you can look at a lot of different emails to get enough information for to be inspired by those emails. So these are kind of what we're really looking at when it comes to copy, design, accessibility. These are the individual pieces that we're spending a lot of time looking at when we're getting an email to our site. So there's a lot of different pieces here with subject line, pre-header text. When it comes to design, the layout, images, you have a GIF. Is the navigation, can you use the email right? Or accessibility, is it going to be responsive? Is there web fonts being pulled in? All those interesting pieces that everyone wants to put into their emails nowadays. And I think we really believe that the inbox is a sacred, personal, and safe place. Any email that you're sending to your customer or subscriber is something you should really think about, and their time is valuable, and we believe that those emails should be well thought out. So we're going to walk through some companies that are actually the most searched on Really Good Emails and look at some visual examples from each of these brands that are sending really good emails. The first one here is Uber. So they have some really fantastic emails. They do a lot of personalization with data. There's an email receipt that was made just for rides on New Year's Eve. Like, that's really cool. That's a fun piece of email that you get to really dive in when we look at all these emails. So they just do a really good job of connecting all their different products together. It doesn't matter if it's Uber Eats or an email to their drivers or to a rider. They do a really good job of keeping their design system well thought out across those different emails. But yeah, just the amount of data that they pull into something like a receipt, I think, is just phenomenal whenever you get it in the inbox. There's just so many different pieces that they do really well. So yeah, the main takeaways from Uber is the super personalization, as we said before, go farther than first name, really using the copy, the voice, supporting imagery to get your message across, having these awesome GIFs that are pretty subtle. I really like subtle GIFs. I know they can support the message really effectively. And then asking for that social share. If you're going to do something like a year in review email, even though people might not click that social share, getting them, asking for it doesn't really, hurt that much. maybe they'll share it with your friends if you're sending them a very good email. So this is a really interesting quote that I thought was great, is that sending these emails that are super relevant, that are helpful, not over giving too much information to someone in the inbox, just making it a good email that's sent to a subscriber at the right time and is a useful email. So the next one would be Google. They do some really great stuff. I just bought like a Google Home, and I've gotten so many onboarding emails, but yeah, they just do a really fantastic job of including a lot of personalization in their onboarding. So something like Google Wi-Fi, they pull in the speed of your network. They show you the different devices in the email. They just do a really good job of keeping it really clean and simple, not giving you too much information right away, letting you use that product to kind of get onboarded. Yeah, they do some really good, cool stuff. So with Google too, yeah, that dark background, using it in different emails, they're kind of one of my favorite dark background emails. Try out bold colors if it matches with your brand. There's a lot of opportunity even in sort of triggered emails to show some flashy stuff. It's a good way to talk to your customers. And this report style email, we're really big fans of it, really good emails of bringing in tidbits of info to get your customers really interested into the email. And then with the footer, I'm not sure if there's a footer on the bottom of this email, but having multiple ways for someone to ask for help. If there's an FAQ or a direct line to someone on the support team, having those useful links in the bottom of the email that if they get stuck, they can easily contact. So we reached out too for, I think Epsilon and Google did their welcome series. Just really giving enough people just the right amount of information in email. And if they need more help, they can go to an FAQ or go somewhere else, ask support, but not giving them too much right away and kind of letting them understand it by themselves. Next, we have Nike. They're a really cool brand. I think a lot of people like their emails, like their clothes. They do some fantastic stuff with their photography and imagery within their emails. They really make the full width email using those images, bringing in on the screenshots, showing the different clothing in different interesting ways. They too also have a really good design system across their emails. They all sort of feel the same, and it logically makes sense. I'm not sure if you've seen this email. It's been around for a little bit, but there's this interactive element with these different kind of dots you can click and get information about each of the items within the email. It's just a really interesting technology piece. Bold images, even if you don't want your image to be email to be all image email, like you do have these images that you spent money on to take photos of and everything else. It might be an email image that's dedicated just for that email too. So definitely show them off, but remember to balance live text and images. And then designing mobile first. I think everyone's list is moving towards mobile depending on where you're at. So it's becoming a big piece too of making sure that your email is accessible anywhere. Everlane is a really cool San Francisco-based startup doing some great stuff with clothes. I was surprised that this is one of the most searched brands. I'm not sure how many people really know about them yet, but they do some really cool stuff with their emails. Just really showing the close off in the email, making them pretty simple, clean text, easy to read. Yeah, they use those product shots really well, and they connect everything within the email really well together. They do some cool stuff. So this is a great email using these product shots, like I said. If you have the resources and time, creating bespoke product shots to use in your email that get people into a landing page or something like that. The Z pattern, back and forth with an email to bring someone's eye down the email makes it really scannable and readable. And then the CTA design, spending a good time on your CTA and thinking about the color, shape, and design. And if it is above the fold, then the bonus points for that. But people scroll anyways, but I think there's some good parts, even with retail brands, to bring in some cool email design in it. And then Apple, I feel like everyone wants to be like Apple, so I don't like including them that much, but they do some great stuff with just really keeping their emails the same across all the different brands that they manage to. So if it's like their news, if it's a new phone, if it's their music service, they keep that design language across the whole gambit. Using these dark backgrounds again, it's like just a candy for me. I love that when it comes to email design. Just keeping it really simple, bringing in those really great looking product images, making the text really easy to read, very scannable. These emails just like stand out in the inbox for me. I'm doing something like gradients, that's really smart and really cool to do in an inbox, and really makes it stand out. So they do some fantastic stuff with screenshots. Show, don't tell people. If you can have GIFs in your emails, that's just great for that. With those custom icons, I think lower in this email, there's some custom icons talking about associated actions. So if you can have a design team that are able to make those icons, really backs up the messaging. And then again, footer links, having a lot of different links at the bottom of the email helps support your customers if they run into any trouble. And then Spotify. I think a lot of people were excited when they got their 2018 Wrapped email. I think they've sort of transitioned away from pulling in a lot of statistics in the actual email and moving more to a landing page. But they do some really fantastic stuff with pulling in dynamic content that makes sense to you, that's based on your listing history. And using these really cool GIFs to really get into the email. You have that single teaser CTA getting you to jump right back into their product. That's really beneficial. And then that one column email, built for mobile, it works great. So now, how do you send really good emails? Well, I think it's really important for you to ask yourself these 3 questions before you hit send. So does the content serve the customer more than the company? It comes down, that really is like the main part that we focus on the most. Like, does it solve a problem? What are this email, what is it solving? Like, is there a goal? That's what I think, if there's a difference between bad and good emails, I think good emails have a goal and solve a problem. And is the email accessible for all screens and devices? Nowadays, accessibility is such a big piece of email design, and I think it's really important for brands to start focusing on it and making sure that their emails are accessible anywhere. And would you look forward to getting this email? Are you going to send it to your friends? We've all forwarded an email to someone, hopefully, just like to check out the great email design, but I think that's a piece that, when I hit send on an email, is that someone that's going to take a screenshot, share it on social or something like that? You would hope that any email that you send is going to be shared. And then you just look at each of these individual points before you hit send. I think all these pieces, too, are something to test. So even if you don't have buy-in from your boss to add in web fonts and bulletproof buttons and everything like that, each of these pieces before you hit send is an opportunity to test something or think about it a little bit more and spend some time on it. That's all I have. So thank you, and I hope you guys send really good emails.